Hey everybody, it's time to talk about Kled in Season 12. Kled in Season 12 has two different rune choice options. Now, the most fun one is Lethal Tempo, which is I'm going to be focusing on Lethal Tempo for the majority of this video, okay? Now, I will go over Grasping and Dying, but let's cut that out for a second. Lethal Tempo, really good on Kled. Why is it so good? Well, it's not really good, but it's good. And it's good because it allows you to basically instantly remount. It allows you to get some more sustained damage for some of these kills, and particularly when you're dismounted, I think that brings you up to like 275 range. So it helps you inch out those kills right at the end. What are you going to do in a Lethal Tempo build? You're going to go Triumph because you're Kled and you're a Bruiser. That's amazing. You're going to go Legend Alacrity. Why not Tenacity? Why not Bloodline? Well, because Bloodline is shit on Bruisers, and Tenacity I'll go over later. Last Stand because you're a Bruiser. Kled ain't never done. Over here, you're gonna go Bone Plating and Unflinching. Why Bone Plating? Why not Second Wind? You would think that a high health champion like Kled would do good with Second Wind, particularly because of his dismounted form. Bone Plating tends to do a little bit better because Kled tries to turn every fight into an all-in cage match to the death. He tries to force every fight into just be a brutal slog'em doom match. Kled doesn't trade well, he doesn't poke well, but he does have a very high health pool, and he typically can use that health pool to kind of bully over people like a sumo wrestler and just steamwall them with raw health. Why Unflinching and why not Overgrowth? That's because Kled tends to want to stay in range. I can't fucking believe that happened. Overgrowth takes a bit to scale up, doesn't do anything early game. Unflinching does do things early game and tends to outperform it a bit in the early game. Double damage, armor, or magic resist depending on your matchup. Why not more attack speed? It's a little bit of a question. Some people prefer both. I prefer the double damage because Kled already has attack speed here, and really high AD ratios. And if you're attacking a lot, then attacking even more tends to get undervalued. Having more damage for those attacks tends to be bonus value type deal. Kled also doesn't really get anything beyond remounting faster. He doesn't get that much for attacking super fast. He doesn't have an on hit or anything like Jax that would make it more valuable to hit even faster. Now, those are your runes. Now let's look at items, and hopefully that will teach you guys some things. Now, why didn't I tell you to go with the Legend Tenacity rune? Let's go to that in 1 second. Now, the first item you're gonna go is Titanic Hydra. Why Titanic Hydra? It's just doing extremely good. Getting to the Titanic Hydra can be a little bit difficult. You have to get that first item Pickaxe. Getting the ruby crystals doesn't really help you that much, okay? But once you do get Titanic Hydra, I did do a video on this like half a year ago. All of Kled's bonus HP, or I should say all of his mounted HP counts as bonus HP. That gives Kled one of the highest bonus health pools in the entire game. He's up there with Cho'Gath and Scion. Unlike Cho'Gath and Scion, he has a lot of attacks and a lot of good AD ratios. So if Titanic Hydra is good on Scion because of that bonus HP, imagine how good it is on Kled. Now, he also can complete it and have that bonus health way earlier than Scion would. When he completes it, he typically gets nearly 60 damage with nearly 50 more on hit. It's a lot. It's a lot of HP or I should say a lot of damage, and it's just a really strong item. When you complete it, you'll quickly notice like, holy crap. Now for a second item, and this is why I don't go Legend Tenacity, because you're gonna go Sunfire. Now, Sunfire has the obvious synergy that Kled has a lot of bonus health, and so it does a lot of damage. The second thing is, as with Unflinching, having slow resist and tenacity helps him stay in range, which is what Kled really wants. It also gives him even more bonus health, and because Kled will have so much HP, this armor and magic resist, which got buffed by the way, that's why Gore Drinker is a no-go anymore, because Gore Drinker got nerfed, Sunfire got buffed. That means that if Gore Drinker and Sunfire were about equal on Kled, then Sunfire got buffed, Gore Drinker got nerfed. The difference between the two is immense right now. Remember, Sunfire got more armor, more magic resist, and more health on the mythic passive. These are all good for Kled, and this allows him to get an item, again with armor and magic resist, that covers his giant health pool. Now for third and fourth item, you've got Styrax Gauge and you got Gargoyle Stoneplate. Now, some people prefer Gargoyle third, some people, yeah, I think Styrax third is the better one, and I think the stats would show that. Styrax Gauge is the best third item. For fourth item, you're gonna go Gargoyle Stoneplate. Now, this is gonna be your build, and in this order is the ideal way. In my opinion, this is the ideal way to do it, okay? First item, Titanic Hydra. Second item, Sunfire. Third item, Styrax. Fourth item, Gargoyle Stoneplate. Now, for last item, you can do some things a lot of people like. Thornmail. Sometimes you can get, you know, obviously you can get the Bramble Vest early on if you need more healing debuffs, if you need them earlier in the fight before your W pulls, things like that. Okay, you can also have the Force of Nature because Kled tends to be tanky, and this tends to make it very difficult for mages to kill you before the remount, which is one thing I want to talk about. Gargoyle Stoneplate basically gives you a free remount. Remember, your entire mounted HP is considered bonus. That means Gargoyle Stoneplate frequently shields for over 3,000 health. You're unkillable for about 2.5 seconds. So this should always give you the remount, but particularly having Force of Nature means you can't die. You will get that remount. I guarantee against mages, Force of Nature, Gargoyle, so you could go AFK, you'll get that remount, okay? But if you don't want to go Force of Nature, you got Thornmail, you've got the potential Wit's End, which is pretty good. You've got the Guardian Angel, which is pretty good. You've got things like Cyril does, which is it's okay. I mean, it's not great. You've got the Stance, you know, and this is the sort of thing. For last item, generally speaking, in my opinion, you're gonna get Thornmail because your Q in the late game isn't gonna be reliable enough. You're gonna want something else, and this one's pretty reliable. But other than that, you can go with any of these. You know, they're all okay. Now, let's talk about Grasp and Dying. Now, if you play a lot of Kled, you're gonna keep fighting the Jax matchup. The Jax matchup is really hard, borderline impossible, but this build makes it a lot better and easier to win. If you go lethal tempo into Jax, he goes lethal tempo into you, he wins. Because obviously if you get into an auto fight, Jax is gonna win. But early game, particularly when you go in with the bone plating and the Grasp and Dying, you can win the early trade because you'll hit Grasp, he'll counterstrike, you E through him to run away, counterstrike ends, you E back into him, you hit him with the second Grasp and Dying proc, and you should be able to at least brute force your way into winning that early game. Not losing early game is a pretty good idea because losing early game tends to lose the entire game, particularly with an early game champion like Kled. You at least want to be able to win levels 1 to 5 to give you a chance at winning the entire game. And if you kill him a few times, look, Grasp and Dying doesn't scale off. It doesn't fall off, okay? It's still a good rune the entire game. If you're winning early game, it can become very devastating to fight a champion who's got maybe an additional 100 HP that he wouldn't have had because he keeps bashing you with Grasp and Dying. And that's about it for Kled. Now, I'll show you guys some gameplay footage, and basically the idea with lethal tempo is you attack a lot and remount really easily, and with Titanic Hydra giving you that on hit damage, you're just gonna do a lot of damage and you're just gonna kill people really easily. Well, okay, so that's how much damage that does. I think I can make this work then. Can you not?
Get weird on me. Yeah, I like it out here. Freedom, communing with nature.
Dominating.
Don't let the door hit you on your way to hell.
That's it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to my Patreon supporters for doing these, you know, for helping me and get money. If you want to see, the description is, the link is in the description. God, I almost said it correctly for like 9 videos in a row there. So if you want to do that, that helps me out immensely. As low as $3, and that helps. For all everyone else, just thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Hope everybody has a great day. And if you want to play Kled, I hope you can use this to play Kled a lot better. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.